I cannot stop playing that game. It's like crack.
I know. I'm excited. I figured that's pretty much what we'll be talking about this whole time. So
yeah, right. Okay. Well, then let's go ahead and pass gas. Cliff isn't here, so the podcast this week is going to be super, super immature. Lots of bodily functions.
I don't know why Cliff makes this podcast mature, though.
I know, right? Well, he's the only one with an actual child, so he has another life form that he's responsible for. He has,
forced responsibilities.
He's an actual manager of a department. We're not. I'm getting there.
You're Mr. Manager.
I manage not to lose my crap every day.
That is something to be said sometimes.
I deserve a raise for that.
You can kind of see it. You can kind of see the tension across the office occasionally. Like people
sometimes you can hear it.
You can tell at the level of volume people walk around the office. Like how hard are they stamping their feet?
Right.
Like
if we can hear footsteps and it's a carpeted floor, somebody's really upset.
You know something's up.
Welcome to the Byte Me Podcast, episode 117. My name is Adam West. I am back finally.
I'm the Dylan, and Cliff's now gone.
I know, right?
Whatever.
We're just going to rotate in and out.
Yeah.
Why not? Okay, and we're done. Thanks for playing. So what was I doing the last couple of weeks? I was on vacation one week.
Yeah, and then there was a bunch of snow.
Oh, and then the snow.
So you couldn't get to the office, but then probably had some work to do because someone else in our office was also on vacation, which
we've had people leave their employment, have medical issues, get snowed in, go on vacation and have medical issues on vacation.
Yeah.
And then go on vacation while somebody else is on vacation with that person having medical issues while they're on vacation.
Right.
So, and then we got 2 feet of snow.
Yeah. That's pretty unusual.
Yeah.
Any one of those things is fine, right?
Any one of those is totally fine, but
6 of them in a row.
It just happened back to back to back to back to back. Mm-hmm. And hopefully things are going to sort of get back to normal, we hope.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You can do what you can.
Cliff's on vacation now.
Yeah.
Good for him. So this is the podcast where we talk about video games, although this week it's going to be just a bunch of weird news, I'm sure.
It didn't seem like it was a super newsy week, but there's some weird news that might be interesting to say things about and stuff.
We are going to talk about, in news, we've got Assassin's Creed Odyssey is going to be showing up somewhere for you to play.
Yeah.
Crackdown 3, well, we waited a long time for it, and we'll talk about that. The Anthem Day 1 patch is massive, but it's going to help with one of the bigger frustrations people have had during the demos and the VIP and the early release and blah, blah, blah. So we'll talk about that. Skull and Bones, which is a game I totally forgot about.
Yeah, it's been I think 2 years since they showed it off at E3.
Mm-hmm. It's still not out yet, but hey, there's a TV show. So we'll talk about that. And then Fortnite Live is an event that actually happened over in the UK somewhere.
Yeah.
And it was shut down because of reasons.
Not surprisingly.
It's really dumb.
Again, plus, weird news.
Right. Plus questions, as well as some cheap free games and stuff and things. But first we start with what we're playing, and let's go ahead and start talking about it since we're one of the games we're playing.
Start off hot?
Yeah. One of the games we're playing is the new free-to-play Tetris 99.
On the Switch.
Yes. If you haven't played it, it's, like I said, it's free-to-play. Actually, I don't even think there's microtransactions in it.
No, there's literally a menu, you open it up, it's a menu and it says play or options.
Yeah, and I looked under options and I'm like, can I change can I pay for something here? And no.
Can I give them money? I feel like I need to give them money. But they showed this off at the Nintendo Direct and they're like, it's out now, which was kind of cool. I like how Nintendo does that.
Right.
But the game's really cool. I'm still terrible at Tetris.
I am really good at... Well, I say really good at Tetris.
You're good at Tetris.
I love Tetris.
You're good at Tetris. Maybe not exceptional, but
right.
It's definitely better than the average Tetris player. Therefore, you are a good
What's
Tetris
your
player.
highest
I got
placement?
to 18 or 17. I didn't play a lot and being not very good at Tetris, and I was trying to figure out what was going on. I was trying to figure out, and Joe was kind enough to try to explain to me kind of how you do the attacks and things, but I still don't, I understand that doing things triggers the attacks, but I still don't know, when that's happening, really.
Right. Well, so my understanding is, there's 4 different ways to attack.
Right.
Actually, there's 5
there's a
different...
manual way.
Yeah, there's a manual way which you can select who you're going to, like you can pick the person on your screen.
Which seems crazy.
I know. Then there's random where it auto-selects people for you. There's KOs, which go after people who have been knocking people out.
Right.
There's badges, which I don't know about how you collect badges or whatever, or what those actually are, but people who've earned a lot of badges, you target them. And then there are attackers. So people who are attacking you, have sought you out specifically,
Right.
you can attack them right back.
Right.
And it all depends on which way you move your right analog stick,
and
or you can select...
The left one manually does it, which is pretty clever.
Yeah.
But did we even explain what this is?
So it's a battle royale game.
99-player Tetris.
Yeah.
Last one standing.
So cool.
It is pretty neat, though. I need to get better at Tetris, though. In the games I played, though, I immediately got significantly better at Tetris by the first time to the last time I played, though.
Right.
I went from, in the 80s to 18. Right. So I felt a lot better. I was getting the hang of, remembering the shapes and how to rotate them and just... knowing which ones to look for, because there is certain patterns to look for. So.
I've gotten to the point where I'm just looking. Hit my mic. Where I'm just looking at my screen, and I'm not looking around my screen. I'm just looking right at my screen, and I'm seeing things in the periphery.
Right.
And it kind of freaks me out because I feel kind of robotic when I do it.
Yeah.
And it's almost zen-like when you get into it. And the thing is, if you get rid of just one line, you're not really doing anything for anyone, to any damage to anyone. But once you hit the 2, 3, and then the Tetris, that's when you're sending out more blocks to other people and really screwing up their...
So what's a
game.
Tetris?
A Tetris is 4 lines. You disappear 4 lines at once.
Okay.
Which is the most you can do at one time.
Okay. See, I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Do you know what the blocks are called?
No.
Tetronymos?
Interesting.
Yeah. Uh-huh. There's a whole world of
Tetris. A whole lore to this Tetris game.
Yeah, but it's... I will play it before I go to bed. In bed.
Yeah.
Probably in my sleep at some point.
I don't know if it's a good thing. I think it is kind of good how they did the attacking thing. I think that's interesting because it allows you to just. I think it's smart to allow you just to focus on actually playing Tetris and not worrying about the other thing. But at the same time, it does feel kind of like I'm just playing Tetris. There's nothing that really makes it feel like you're playing against someone.
Right.
So that maybe some way to more actively do that. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea, but. It does seem a little. I'm playing Tetris by myself.
Yeah.
Not to say it's not fun though.
Have you played the Puyo Puyo Tetris?
A little bit.
So it's when it's just when you're just playing Tetris versus whatever your opponent. Think of it like that, but just on a much grander scale.
Well, to me, it feels like I'm going to do better if I just focus on playing Tetris and not so much worrying about who I'm attacking. And it seems to go pretty well for a while until all of a sudden it feels like, I guess, 6 people probably gang up on you at one time for some reason, if it's completely on accident or if they have some strategy that I don't know about or they're just nerds. But
I've had my best luck either attacking randoms or attacking the people attacking me.
Right.
That's where I've had my best luck.
Yeah.
So, but definitely check it out. It's free to play. I keep saying free to play. It's just free.
It's just a free game.
It's just a free game.
Well, you have to be on the network though, so it's kind of with the subscription to the $20 a year because you have to have
you have to have Nintendo Online.
People,
I forgot about that,
but essentially free.
Yeah. And it's funny because IGN just rated it and they gave it an 8.5, and I remember reading in one of the comments, it's Tetris. It's the same game.
Right.
So
I don't know why they really went to the trouble of...
But they did.
Reviewing it, I guess. The Battle Royale mechanic, I guess you can give that some sort of score, I guess. But again, you're just playing against 98 other people instead of one other person, I guess.
True.
So.
True. Another game you're playing is...
Crackdown 3.
Yay!
I did play it a little bit. It's not bad. I know reviews are getting... not so good reviews, which I guess we can talk about that now.
Right.
May as well because... but I think the game was fine. I think it suffered from maybe what Kingdom Hearts 3 did, where on a more extreme scale for Kingdom Hearts, it the time it took the game to be put out was maybe too long.
Oh, yeah.
Where the controls just feel a little not tight. They're a little.
Did the controls feel very last gen?
Maybe in a way, and I think that's just because maybe because the game's very free runny, like you're running and jumping up buildings, and I think you've just played games recently that did that better than this one, so it immediately feels less than in that respect, and that's a big part of the game. Right. Other than that, the game looks good. It's Terry Crews. Like there's a lot going for the game other than I think it just doesn't feel. And if you're really going to get upset because the story's not very compelling.
The story was never compelling.
That's not the point. So I think part of the bad reviews is not really fair because you're not expecting it to really break ground in any way like that. It's supposed to be a sandbox game where you get more powerful and blow stuff up and beat the bad guys and retake the city. Like, that's the idea of the game. So to really mark it down, I feel is a little harsh when I think the game probably does fine in a lot of those areas.
Right. Because I want to say IGN gave it...
it was like a 5.
Yeah, IGN gave the main campaign a 5, and they gave the multiplayer a 4.
I don't even know what that means.
Because evidently, I want to say that I read that the main campaign and the multiplayer are vastly different.
Yeah.
And the multiplayer, they wanted to review them separately just because they are separate.
Right.
So separate. And it just wasn't good.
Yeah.
But I'm a Crackdown fan. I love the first Crackdown.
I love the first one.
Crackdown 2 I never really played.
I played it a little bit. Not as much as the first one, but it's essentially the same game.
Right.
And this is very much the same game.
Just updated visuals to a degree.
It looks nice. Like, it looks really good. So I'll better play it some more and really see if I can form a better opinion, see if I can get more used to how it feels. And I think another problem starting off is if you're familiar with Crackdown, you realize you know at the beginning you're kind of a wimp, and as you collect the orbs and as you do the things, as you drive the cars, as you shoot the bad guys, you get better at all of those things, and you get stronger, you get faster, you jump higher. So I'm wondering at some point too if there's kind of I'm over the hump where my skills are good enough where I kind of navigation through the city becomes easier because you jump farther, you jump higher. So it's easier to reach those things rather than kind of like clumsily trying to leap up this building. It doesn't feel too good. Okay. So I'm wondering if that kind of alleviates some of those initial pains that you feel when you start the game, being someone who's played Crackdown before.
Well, I think that was like the whole point well, not the whole point, but that's one of the things. It's like you do progress, you do get better
and
skills.
They kind of, at the beginning of the game, they have a cutscene where Terry Crews is really big and buff, right? And then he, spoiler alert, dies, essentially, but comes back to life, because if you're familiar with Crackdown, they just kind of like reboot you.
Right.
Because you're not just a human.
It's almost like
but
when
then you're like wimpy Terry Crews, right? You're like all skinny. So through doing feats of strength, like you're going to get buff again.
Right.
But you're not when you start the game.
It's like, I can't remember which God of War. I think it was any of the God of War. Where you start the game,
where you start
the game with all the massive weapons, and then they're all just taken away.
I was literally going to say that, and I think it would have been smart if they let you actually play a bigger section of, like, a section of the game where you're big and buff. Oh, this is what I get to be. Make that really cool and interesting, and then take it away from you knowing that you can build back up.
Gotcha.
Because I think that's something smart that God of War 2 did, was, especially if you played God of War 1, I'm a big monster, like, I can kill everything. And then you start God of War 2 and you're like, I'm a wimp. Like, that doesn't make any sense. No, they wrote it into the story where you start the game and you do this crazy big boss battle, and then they have a reason to strip your powers away from you, so you do it again.
Right.
Like, that was clever. Like, that was a good way to kind of be able to play God of War again without, like, it not making sense, or just having you atrociously powerful by the end of God of War 2. So,
which would have been amazing as well.
Yeah.
Cool. So you playing anything else?
That was pretty much it.
Okay. So let's see. Last week on Amazon, or the week before, I noticed a sale on a game called Starlink Battle for Atlas.
Yeah.
Heard a lot about it when it came out, and it reviewed pretty well. People generally like this game. It's one of the Toys to Life kind of thing where you plug the ship in, and I got the Switch version. So I could play as Fox.
Yeah.
Fox.
That's a big draw.
Fox McCloud. Is that his name?
I think so.
Sure, that guy.
Sounds close enough.
I play Star Fox. And have you played this game?
No.
It is so much fun. It's $25, I think, still on Amazon as of the other day. I convinced our coworker Justin to pick it up because I was like, I don't know what kind of games you like, but Celeste is really good, and you should also maybe like this. And he really liked the trailer, so he bought it right away.
Yeah.
It's fun. It feels good. The flying is fun. The combat is great, and it's
like, what is it? Is it kind of like Star Fox, but
so
not technically?
I mean, not technically, because Star Fox is an on-rails kind of shooter. This is if you took No Man's Sky and you put it into a... If you took No Man's Sky and made it and gave it actual missions, like go here, harvest this thing. I mean, I know they've got that in No Man's Sky now, but it's on a much, much larger scale. It's just kind of a pared down No Man's Sky. There's not a lot of like world building and crafting and stuff that you do. I mean, you upgrade stuff, but you don't have to craft new things and whatever. You can get mods and things, whatever, for your ship or your guns or whatnot. And the story's really cool. It looks fantastic. The only thing I'm kind of annoyed with is like whenever you, I forget what it's called, but basically when you take down a fort or something, or a harvester, what's the thing when they pull the stuff out of the ground? They're harvesting, they're mining, anyway, one of those things, when you take it down, the animation at the end of the battle, it's the same animation for every single one. It's fine, but you take down 3 or 4 of them in the span of 45 minutes, you see the exact, it's the exact same ending to every battle. Right. And some of the actual battles they're a little repetitive, only because you have to do the same thing, but the enemies, at least they vary their attacks a bit. So there's a little variety in that. But then again, I'm only on like my 2nd or 3rd planet. But no, it's really, really good. And you don't have to use the toy you don't have to plug the toy thing in if you don't want to. You can do it all digitally. But it's really cool, like popping your gun off your R-Wing and then popping a new gun on and watching the animation on screen just happen as you're doing it. It's really cool. Voice acting is on point too. It's really good. But it's a Ubisoft game, so there's that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I want to say last I checked, it was pretty much the same price across all the systems on Amazon. So check that out. And just for funsies, I was in California, I had my Switch with me, and I'm like, I'm going to jump back into, I don't know why, Breath of the Wild.
Because there's more seeds to get, man.
Sure. But here's the thing. I started a new game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Because it had been long enough since I was playing that
where am I?
I needed a refresher, so I'm going to play for a while with this new game and kind of stay a little more focused instead of just like, look how great this place is that I can go anywhere. And try and figure out the things that I may have missed or whatnot and go back to my other game and then go back and get those things and kind of refocus myself. Because I'm at Ganon on my main game.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm at the end of the game. But I'll just reacclimate myself with the controls a bit and maybe figure out how to upgrade all my armor a bit more before I go back in there because he's difficult. It's not easy. So there's that, and I think that's all I'm playing.
That's it?
Yeah. That's fun. There's a lot of games on sale right now on the eShop.
Yeah,
like a lot.
I think every platform has a big sale going on right now, so there's lots of good deals.
Yeah, I'm clearly like on the Switch kick right now, even though I'm 60 hours into Assassin's Creed Odyssey, so I'm clearly at the end of that game.
Yeah.
But I still have 20 missions left. Yeah, and for whatever reason, the Switch I felt like picking it up. Oh, and I also, side note, I picked up a little portable dock for the Switch. It was $26. There's $34, so way, way cheaper than the main dock. And the only thing they recommend is getting an official Nintendo AC adapter for it. If you want to use multiple AC adapters, don't get a random off-brand one, because this way you're guaranteed to keep the same, power throughput. And it works flawlessly. Nice. Perfect. So now I've got to switch up or dock upstairs and downstairs.
Nice. It's a game changer.
I know. I might actually get another little mini portable one for my bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I could just do... Yeah, I've got things to do. I've got things to think about. So anyway, so that's what we're playing. If we're not playing something that we should be playing, you should let us know. Drop us a note in the Discord or on our Facebook page or wherever.
That was a plug.
Yes. We're going to plug ourselves even more now. If you're listening to us on the iTunes, make sure you rate us and review us. And if you'd like to support our show with some of that cold hard cash, that would be awesome too. Patreon.com/Byte Me Podcast. A few different levels of patronage, starting at as little as $1 a month, all the way up to our producer level, where you get all kinds of free little Discord icons and stuff and things and access to all our shows before anybody else. And if you're a producer, we say your name on the show.
And Cliff usually does this, so he has the master list.
He's on vacation.
So we have to go from memory.
We should call him sometime and be like, hey, can you just do this for us?
Just phone him in for
right?
Wherever you are. I know you're on vacation and hanging out with the Mickey Mouse, but this is important. Anyway, thank you to Alan Schulte, Tom McDermott, Jacob Frank.
Are you doing this all from memory?
Yes.
Oh my God.
But now you're
Sorry,
messing me up.
Jacob Frank.
Kevin Schold, Austin Palmer, Joe Coleslaw, and Vinny?
Is that everybody?
I was on a roll and then
I'm sorry.
Adam interrupted me.
I totally screwed that up for you.
So now I'm going to feel terrible and someone's going to be like, you missed my name. And I'll be like...
Yeah, I think, but we've got really cool listeners, so I think if we...
And Kangaroo Jack.
Jack Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to go alphabetically, so when you interrupted me, I think that's where I was.
Yay! Yeah, hopefully, I'm going to Australia in September, and hopefully, if I can work it out, I'll make the 6-hour trek from Sydney to wherever he is and say, g'day.
And then leave.
You're like, you've got spiders the size of my car. I'm out.
You can throw shrimp on his Barbie and leave.
How random would that be if I just walk out? G'day! Just throw something at him and walk out.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, if I'm not killed by some random wildlife in Australia, I'm sure he'd kill me in that moment. That'd be fine. Because I would die. People are like, what if you go to Australia and you're killed by, like, something climbing out of the toilet or falling from a tree or eating your face when you walk through a door? Like, that's fine. I'll have died in Australia. I will die happy.
Right. You'll already be down under.
Ohio.
They don't even have to dig very deep at that point.
True.
Yeah.
Is it true? Yeah, is it true that when you're south of the equator, the toilet swirls the other way?
No, that's a myth.
Is that a myth?
Yeah. But it sounds so cool. Like,
right.
It's something I want to be true.
I
guess there's only one way to find out.
I'll do a Facebook Live.
Yeah. Live from the toilet in Australia,
right?
Southern Hemisphere. This is Adam West.
But does it look like it's going the right way on video? Because...
Right. I don't know.
Who knows? We'll have to find out. Anyway, that'll happen later this year. Byte Me Podcast from Down Under. All right, we've got only a few things to talk about, and it's really, really weird, so let's go ahead and get into the next segment.
News!
That's the one.
Or weird news.
Yeah.
The good news is if you were one of the Google... the Google Stream service, people have started, or I think have received their copy of Assassin's Creed Odyssey at this point. So if you're one of those people that were waiting, I think the people in our chat that were waiting for that all kind of like chimed in around the same time and said they got it. Cliff got his.
Nice.
So if you did that play, that you streamed it for an hour or more, they gifted you a copy of it, so you should have that in your Uplay library now.
So that's really annoying because I signed up for the Google Stream.
Yeah.
And I never, ever heard anything from them ever at all.
Yeah, see, I think I don't know if I actually did get contacted or not.
Yeah, I did not. Which is sad because I really wanted to. Yeah. And I spent $80 on Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is $20 right now.
Yeah, spoiler alert, cheap free games.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that. Sorry.
No, I mean, there's a good game sale going on, and yes, so if you're one of the people that missed out but do want to enjoy Assassin's Creed Odyssey, $20 on any platform right now, I think.
Oh, it's so
you can
good.
get it on PS4,
it's
Xbox.
So worth it.
The P-Sizzle, whatever you want, whatever you're fancy.
The what?
The P-Sizzle.
Oh, the P-Sizzle, the X-Bizzle, or the Nintendo
Pizzle?
The Swizzle?
Anyway.
Yeah, this is what happens when Cliff's not here.
Moving on, Anthem has a big...
oh, yeah, because we talked about Crackdown, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big
Spoiler
day one
alert.
patch, which I think everyone's excited for this, because I know I don't know if Vinny knew, but I watched part of his stream as he was streaming Anthem, because I didn't have a keyboard or anything, because it was on my Xbox, so I didn't really have any way to chat, but I watched, and a long portion of watching that was a loading screen. So I guess there's some pretty dramatic loading screens, maybe up to 7 minutes reported, which is pretty absurd, isn't it?
7 minutes?
I think that's what I saw somewhere.
That's ridiculous.
That was kind of the worst of it, which I guess, like, loading into a big game that you're going to play for hours, I guess, like, who
7
cares?
minutes isn't the end of the world.
Like, that's a very long time, sure, but
It's time to run upstairs, grab a Mountain Dew, make sure you tip the pizza guy, and then run back downstairs.
Sometimes I'd actually appreciate loading screens like that, especially in those kinds of games, because you, like, literally can't step away from them, because they're like, oh, you're always on, pause it.
Right.
You can't.
I was having a conversation with my roommate about Tetris 99, or about something kind of important in her life.
Yeah.
But I had just started around to Tetris 99.
Yeah.
And I couldn't pause it. So, because you can't pause that game. It just goes because it's a real-time thing. So it's like, I appreciate a decent loading time.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. But did you play any of the VIP demo or anything?
I didn't. I just kind of watched.
There was, because during the first weekend demo, the VIP demo, they had people, like, they would sit there on the loading screen, and we get up to that last, like, 98th percentile, and it would just sit there, and people would sit there for 10, 15 minutes going, is this gonna catch up? So I hope there's no 7-minute loading times.
Yeah, so I guess that's why you call this a beta and you let people play it, because you find out things like this.
Right.
Because this is stuff that would really upset a player base if they launched the game and everyone jumped in to play it and they couldn't. So
seriously.
But it sounds like it's just going to be kind of general performance stuff. It sounds like it's going to do the patch does a lot of little things here and there, but the big deal was loading times, because I think that's what people really want right now. Generally, people seem to love the game, though. So
the game is super, super fun. I don't know if it's gonna be a day one for me. Although I kind of want to.
I think Cliff might have he might have spent some time playing this. I don't know. So I wish he was here to tell.
Oh yeah, he did play. He played during the demo.
Tell me a little bit more about it, because I haven't really conversated much with anyone that's played this so far to really get a sense of anything really. I've heard it's good.
It's another shared world shooter,
right?
That you can fly in, and the flying's amazing.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. The flying feels good.
It feels.
I don't know
if
that's something I want, but
it's one of those where it's like, because I was like, oh yay, you're Iron Man, cool. I've never wanted necessarily to fly around in a shooter like Destiny. I'm like, I don't care if I fly. It's because the movement in that game was just so good. Which I was like, it's so good. I can't really. Everything else kind of pales in comparison to the way that game feels. This is the first game that I've played that I'm like, oh, this is all the stuff I like about Destiny. The way it feels. It's got all the feels of Destiny, and you can fly.
That's good. Except when I was watching it, though, like, just seeing people hover in air because you can fly is kind of boring. Because, like, you can just hover above the battle and just shoot. I'm like, that's boring. So, like, that was
you run out of fuel. Like, you can't hover forever.
He never touched down. He was just, like, hovering there. So I don't even know what was going on. Like, so I don't really know. Like, I don't know how long you can just do that. But it seemed like every time I looked up, they were just, like, hovering over the battle. Right. And I'm like, that's not interesting. Like, why is this? This doesn't appeal to me.
Jump into it and play it and see what you think of it. Yeah. Just think of the flying and the battles, because it adds a whole new dimension to the way you approach a battle.
I've just never been much into flying in any game.
Well,
so
you don't have to fly.
Take it or leave it, I guess.
Don't fly.
We'll see.
So Anthem is out officially, I believe, this Friday, the 22nd. That's its official release date.
That's very soon.
Yeah, that's the day after this podcast is out there, 2 days after this podcast is out there for our Patreons. And if you've got EA Origin Access Premier, you've already got this game available to you. So there. Up next, Skull and Bones, a Ubisoft unreleased pirate game, which heard about, like you said, a couple years ago?
I think 2 years ago is when I first saw it at like an E3 showing or something. I don't know if they showed it off again this last year, maybe?
Yeah, so during E3 this past year, they announced a beta for the game. No official dates were given, though. It's coming out for PC, PS4, Xbox. Well, the game has been pushed back to a fall release of this year, because it was supposed to be fall of last year. Now it's a fall release of this year. There is going to be, like I said, that beta. But however, they've got a TV show already announced.
Still no release date, but they got a TV show.
So it looks like Screen Gems is going to be doing... Is it Screen Gems that's doing this? Yes. Oh, no, they're working with Atlas Entertainment to do... the Skull and Bones game. Screen Gems, sorry, that was another part of the story. They're making a film adaptation of Just Dance, which I think is kind of crazy.
That does seem crazy.
Yeah. But so according to The Hollywood Reporter, Ubisoft is working with Atlas Entertainment to do Skull and Bones. It's being billed as a female-driven drama set in the lawless frontier of the Indian Ocean at the end of the golden age of piracy in the 1700s. Is this a female-driven game? Not complaining about that, but that's just curious. I mean, I wonder if we're learning more about the game than we probably should.
Yeah, I don't know. Interesting.
That will be fun. So, and it's not saying where it's being released. It's just that a TV show is happening.
Yep.
Well, there's that.
It's as cryptic as the game.
Mm-hmm.
But they got a show before a release date.
Are we thinking Netflix?
I would have to guess that this is going to a streaming service.
Or Amazon?
Yeah, any of those streaming services.
Or maybe that new secretive Apple streaming service, which they've talked about most recently.
More secrets.
Dun, dun, dun. Cool.
Or maybe they just sent their message in a bottle and we just haven't got it yet. It's not the most efficient way to get them.
They grabbed the wrong booty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, it's interesting to see Deadpool 2's director is working on a film based on The Division, another Ubisoft game.
Ubisoft getting into the movies.
Mm-hmm. And The Division, I think The Division could be really, really good.
That might be a better game than movie. Movie than game.
You don't like The Division? I love it.
I wish the enemies weren't sponges.
Yeah,
like that's my only problem with the game. Like but at some point, like I can't play it because of that. Because I'm like, this is so unrealistic. Like, I can't even, like, suspend the disbelief anymore because I've shot you 300 times. Like, there would be nothing left of you at that point.
Right.
Like, it's just, if you're going to have humanoid things, there has to be some amount of realism to it. Ever so slightly.
Sorry, an email popped up.
It just kind of kills it for me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I enjoyed it until I fought like the bosses.
Yeah,
and that's kind of
they could be kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I kind of lost it at that point just because it's not. My brain doesn't like it, so
and therefore you don't like it. So there you go. All right, wrapping things up in news. There was a Fortnite festival.
Fortnite Live.
It's kind of like Fire Festival. The Fire Festival thing just never happened, but this actually happened, but they got shut down.
So this was billed as the Fortnite event of the year. However, it was not sponsored or licensed by Fortnite in any way. It was essentially just a crappy carnival, it sounds like.
Oh, they've actually got a picture.
It's just a rock wall.
We had that same rock wall at one of our station's events.
Yeah.
That we did last year. If you were at the Northwest Kids Fest, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had that same rock wall.
Yeah, so there was like a rock wall and some like obstacle courses to do like live Fortnite stuff. people dressed as characters. They paid like $16 a head. 3,000 people. Apparently they had a good time.
I mean...
And they were looking forward to doing more of these events. However, they got sued and they're now shut down. Understandably.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it says the vast majority of kids like this event.
Right.
Well, you throw kids at a rock wall or a go-kart track.
They had fun.
Right.
Sure.
Kids also like eating glue.
You just...
So...
Facts. I'm sniffing my purple glue.
Right. You've seen like kids' TV shows now.
Oh, it's...
Right. Don't get me wrong. There's some educational ones out there that are super fantastic.
But that's not what they watch.
No, they watch the other, like 90% of YouTube is filled with stuff these kids watch. And it's just like, that's fun.
I don't remember if I talked about this at all, but a couple weekends ago, we were at a good friend's house they have a little kid who's 6 or so. And just watches the YouTubes as kids do these days. And all it was just like scrawny people yelling and then Illuminati references just like cutting in everywhere. And just like, it was so like sensory overload. Like I could not, like nothing was going on. It was just like screaming and just unicorns and shapes and colors and Illuminati. Like that's, I was like, what is this? Like what, why, what?
Like to me, YouTube is like the local access channels on your basic cable package where it's just like, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what you're going to get? All right. Well, there's all your news. I'm sure you feel smarter now than you did when you came into this podcast today.
It was a weird news week.
It was really weird. I feel like there's some other stuff that happened, but
it was probably, yeah.
Things. Did you guys talk about the Nintendo Direct last week?
No, because it happened right after the podcast.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that would be a good thing to talk about.
Maybe we should talk a little bit about that.
I did watch it in its entirety, and there was some...
Tetris 99.
Tetris 99 was on there.
Yoshi's Crafted World.
Yes.
Did you download the demo for that?
I did not yet.
It is adorable.
Captain Toad Treasure Tracker got bonus levels.
Ooh. Which I've been kind of playing that here.
So if you get the DLC for that, you'll immediately get one of them, and you'll get the rest when they actually release the content. So they have one ready now. I think the highlight of that, though...
Came at the very end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not only do you just get to play... Which one is it? I can't remember. I'll like mix up all the names of the Zelda games.
Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening?
Link's Awakening. So Link's Awakening, not just you can play Link's Awakening on Switch, but they've actually redone the graphics.
Yeah, they've updated it.
It still plays the same, but it just is in a pretty Hyrulean world.
Yep. Did you ever play it on the Game Boy back in the day?
I feel like yes. I think I actually did have that one on my Game Boy.
It's really, really good. So I believe it's the fourth in the series, because there was 1, 2, Link to the Past, and then Link's Awakening. And yeah, they've completely updated the visuals, and it looks great. There's a lot of backlash based on those visuals from people. Yeah, because they're just like, why does it look that way?
Why not?
Yeah.
It looked good.
Right. So, and what's interesting, though, is somebody posted on one of the Facebook pages or groups or whatever, if you look at the original Game Boy version of that, or the Game Boy Color, because they added a color version when the Game Boy Color came out, the character models are obviously pixelated 2D flat, but it's that same style, that chibi style, where they're very much like little people, little cartoon characters, and it just looks like an updated version of that. It looks like the obvious evolution in that style.
Yeah, I thought it looked really neat.
It looks really good.
I was like, I'll totally play that. That looks awesome. So,
and it's a weird game because it doesn't take place in Hyrule, and it's in this, I can't remember all the different things, but like chain chomps show up in it. There's Goombas. There's some 2D platforming in it. It's a really wackadoodle kind of Zelda game.
I'm excited.
It's good.
Yeah, I know if that is the one I had. I can't remember which one I had on Game Boy, but it's been way too long to remember literally anything at all. I was very little.
But it's one of the best in the series.
Yeah.
If not, a lot of people call it the best in the series. Yeah. So, yeah. So there's that. And then there was a couple of other games announced. There's a mech game that was announced, and there's a demo for it available right now.
Dragon Quest Builders 2.
That's coming.
I really enjoyed the first one.
Yay.
They showed more off about Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which is the exclusive sequel to the Switch, which I think those games are a lot of fun.
They were amazing. I remember playing that on my GameCube.
Yeah.
Yeah. There, we've covered your Nintendo Direct. Real news. Okay. So, as I'm dying. All right. We have questions this week from people, and you can always send us your questions on our Discord at bytemepodcast.com/Discord. We'll get you right into there, and you can ask us all the questions and spark some great conversation there, or we'll put them on our show if we feel like, we have something to bring to the discussion. So Eddie Spaghetti's got one, Joe Coleslaw, Kangaroo Jack, and first is this guy.
Hey, yo, Vinny.
Yes.
What you doing?
He just had a birthday, didn't he?
He did.
Happy birthday, Vinny!
Yay!
Yay!
We briefly talked about it last week.
Oh.
But
well, I wasn't here.
So that's your birthday wish from
I was
Adam.
snowed in and stuff. And I didn't have power for like 2 days. That was awesome.
Vinny is a big boy now.
How old is Vinny?
21.
What? Dude. Let's get smashed, bro. Okay. All right, Vinny wants to know, what is your most anticipated game this year? Do you feel like you're less excited this year for gaming than last year? He's asking because Anthem is seemingly the only game that he's actively excited about, whereas the rest of the games this year, although I might be interested in them, he's not super excited about or anything. Do you seem to share the same feeling or not? What do you feel about this year?
Yes. I do feel, well, one, it's early, so I think it's hard to really grasp what your feelings might evolve over in the next couple months if anything kind of pops out at you. But yes, I don't think it seems like it's not going to be a year like last year was. I think last year was an exception. Whereas this one is, I think there's a couple big things that we're going to see, but I guess at the same time, like, maybe little things will pop up along the way. So
right. I mean, I think there's a lot of games coming that just aren't being talked about, or maybe aren't really.
Like, we already had Apex Legends.
Apex Legends just came out of nowhere, and everybody's playing that game. Have you tried it yet?
Not yet.
I need to try that. But like, so far this year, we've had Resident Evil 2.
Which I really want to play.
Right, want to do that. Kingdom Hearts 3. The new Super Mario Bros. U, granted, that's a port. It's still, that was a big deal. It's a big seller. And then this month, we had, what have we had here? I mean, granted, it's not being reviewed very well, but people have been waiting for it. Crackdown 3. The new Metro Exodus came out, which the new Metro game
is very good.
Everybody's really talking about that. We've still got Anthem to come. Far Cry New Dawn came up, which people are also really, really, really enjoying. Wargroove, which is a kind of RTS, what was the game on the Game Boy? Advance Wars?
Advance Wars?
It's kind of an Advance Wars
seems to be
evolution. Then still coming, we've got a Kirby game. We've got Devil May Cry 5. We have got The Division 2. We've got Final Fantasy 7's re-release, whatever. People have just... Final Fantasy 7. You say Final Fantasy, they're into it. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, which people are talking a lot about. A trailer just dropped for that the other day.
Yeah.
Looks really, really good. And I'm just like, I'm trying to point out some of these big games that are still coming. Days Gone is coming in April to the PS4. Then it's kind of quiet. July, we've got the Fire Emblem Three Houses. Final Fantasy 14's got an update as well. And Dragon Quest Builders 2 is going to be coming out in July. Let's see. And then that's kind of the only games those are the only games that really have like hard release dates. But then we've got, Super Mario 2 or Super Mario Maker 2.
That was the other big one from the direct.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And then Hellblade is coming to the Switch. Yeah, there's still a lot coming. Yeah. Gears 5 is still on deck for this year.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some solid games, but I don't know if it has the hype like last year had. So to see, like, it might be something that's easier to gauge at the end of the year where you say, hey, that was actually a really good year, but it's not, it might not feel that way as you move through it. Just because there aren't as big of tent poles as there were last year, just because there was God of War and Red Dead in the same year. Like, those were really big deals.
God of War, Red Dead, Spider-Man.
And you also might be feeling the effects of that, right? That's a hard act to follow.
Yeah.
So your excitement might not just be at the same level,
Assassin's Creed.
Just coming off of that high, so to speak. So,
yeah, there's a lot of games to be excited about, but yeah, that's the perfect way of putting it. Last year was so filled with excitement that it's like, okay.
Like, I'm ready. Like, that's why I kind of haven't been playing a lot, just because I've enjoyed not playing games recently. Like, just kind of like breathing out and just relaxing a little bit. However, I am excited to see what the Switch is going to do, because they keep pushing stuff out. They've almost put out every game that was on the Wii U. Like,
are they really at this point? Wow.
At this point, I think.
Except for the Wonderful 101. Come on,
like
guys.
The Wonderful 101 and Pikmin 3. I think like those are about the only things left that they haven't put on the Switch. And then I'm sure they're going to surprise us with stuff, because they've been kind of just like, here's a game and you're going to get it. Here's a game and you're going to get it. So
I really hope I want them to put Beautiful Joe on the Switch. I think that'd be fun too.
Yeah. And I want F-Zero.
Oh, yeah.
They haven't had one since the GameCube, right?
Now, do you want a new F-Zero with updated everything?
Oh, yeah.
Or yeah. Okay.
I think games look so good now.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
they do. They would have to, though. For me, if they brought an F-Zero game back and they updated everything. Oh crap! Knocking stuff over. If they updated everything, they would have to do, like, I can't remember what game it was, but they have to hide the original game in there somewhere so you can unlock that or make it unlockable so you can play that game.
Sure, yeah.
That'd be super awesome. Yeah. So cool. Yeah, a lot of games. I'm excited for a lot of games this year.
I like games.
Yay. That's why we do this show. Thank you for that, Vinny, and happy birthday. Kangaroo Jack, out of the three of you guys against the rest of the Byte Me Discord, who would win a round of PlayerUnknown PUBG in real life with no live rounds, just simulate... Well, just blanks.
He's clarifying that.
We're not actually killing people. Would you guys play aggressive or hide it out? I've done one recently, and I've got another match in April with a group of friends. Oh, so like PUBG with paintball.
Yeah, I love this idea.
So who would win?
Obviously, he's been doing it recently, so I would consider putting money on him with his training.
Okay. Oh, so it's out of the three of us against our Discord. Okay.
Yeah, so it's every man for himself.
Okay.
Every man or woman for themselves.
So I'm going to say I would probably do quite well because I've only played PUBG solo and I've gotten to number 2.
Yeah.
I've never gotten first place. I've never gotten a chicken dinner. Have you gotten solo chicken dinners?
No. I didn't really like playing the game solo.
Oh, I loved it.
To pursue that.
I loved it.
I got plenty in Fortnite, but that's different.
Those are, you get llamas?
Llama dinners.
You don't eat llamas? Oh, I don't think.
I'm sure you can.
Ooh, gamey.
They're real furry. You probably get a lot of hair in your mouth. I would feel pretty confident in this scenario, too.
Okay.
Spent a lot of time in the woods with various less than lethal weaponry shooting at my friends. So whether it was paintball, airsoft, anything, like this is literally what we did growing up. Like we would just go in the backyard and like build obstacles or go paintballing or go to the woods and shoot each other and like climb trees and like ambush each other. So like I've been training for this moment is what I'm saying.
Okay. So, but doesn't Kangaroo Jack, doesn't he have like actual military training?
Yeah, maybe.
I can't remember if that's the guy.
I know there's some people in here that probably do have better aim than I do.
Yeah.
But you only got to hit them once. That's the thing.
That's true.
When you got a big battle royale, like it. Yes, I think certain people are going to excel, but you have advantage because it's one on one. So I think the field does even out to a degree just because it's the circumstances you're in.
Okay.
I think you can only have so much of an advantage just based on your skill. That's my opinion.
There's
only one way to find out.
Oh, so what we're saying is it's a group trip to Australia in September.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Yeah.
I mean, I would do it. I would totally do it. Yeah. Okay. So you think you'd do well? I think I'd do well. Cliff, how do you think you do? I'm dead. Okay.
He's like, I'm out.
He's like I'm not
I
even
would lose.
I'm so not in this conversation. I'm in California. Cool. Yeah, that'll be fun. I wonder. We'll have to look and see if they actually do stuff like that up here in the Great Pacific Northwest. Got to be something. I think it's just called paintball up here.
Yeah, paintball's pretty popular. One of my buddy plays very competitively.
There's competitive paintball?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
There's a big 24-hour game coming up in like May in Oregon.
24 hours?
My buddies always go to that.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sounds super fun.
No, I like sleeping.
Well, you can sleep. It's not, you don't have to play the whole time, but it's like the game goes that long. So like you can come in and out of the game.
I thought it would be like a Hunger Games style. Like they put you in an arena and things can actually kill you and you have... No, I'm kidding. That'd be fun,
awesome.
though. Thank you for the question, Kangaroo Jack. Up next, Joe Coleslaw. With games made in the 2000s having a resurgence like Kingdom Hearts and Crackdown, today one of the biggest drawbacks I hear is the fact that it feels like a 2000s game. Is that necessarily a bad thing? Those who enjoy the games back in the day would possibly like to revisit that feel of game. Though it may hinder potential new players, what are your thoughts on said games being remastered or having a sequel come to life? We already kind of touched on this with Crackdown.
But to say, like, is it necessarily a bad thing? No. Can it be a bad thing? Absolutely. There are good and bad things about the way old games feel. One, if it mechanically feels bad, that's bad. Like, games don't have to feel like that, so they shouldn't. Like, you can take an old game that feels like a 2000s game and make it feel better just by tightening the controls. There, like when I play Crackdown, it feels old in the sense like I move like a game that's not from this year, and that's bad. I think Kingdom Hearts 3 in a way feels like an old game in a different way. To me, it's
more of a nostalgic kind of thing.
It doesn't come off as, it's more like it has that old, like, it was kind of this mishmash of, to me it kind of feels like in between a JRPG and action RPG mashup, where you have like abilities that are mapped to your D-pad and you roll through them, like rather than having like I have buttons to spell like Skyrim or something, like you have this menu over here and you hit your attack buttons rather than having a spell casting button. You have like a menu that you select your spells or potion, whatever it is. Like it's just the way the interface is, like, to me, that's what makes that game kind of feel old in a way. And that one I don't think is as bad because it doesn't feel bad, but I guarantee there's a way to do that better.
Oh yeah.
And that's where it is like I think you can always make a game better in that in that way. So as long as it's not unplayable, but
right. Well, it's like it's not so much that. So my thought about it is when it comes to games in the early to mid 2000s or even up to this new generation, it's like, it's not that because it feels like a 2000s game, it's a bad thing. It's just because things have just evolved. Right. Like the play style has evolved. The actual feeling of the controls have evolved. Everything's evolved. So it's not bad that it feels like a 2000s game, but I just know that it's better now. Right. So unless I've got super, super strong nostalgia for something, I'm not going to go back. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, the backwards compatibility and stuff on the Xbox is amazing because I'm actually I'm able to play games that I never played before. So like Dead Space, I'm playing that. BioShock Infinite, I'm playing that. Because I never played those games. But you can feel after playing games like...
certain games will feel a certain way. Of course, some games were kind of ahead of the curve, too, and still they probably do feel really good. But there's also very few instances where I'm like, I want to go play a 2000... Like, I remember the game being fun, but when I go play it, it isn't.
Yeah.
Like it feels bad. Like, and it's not the story. It's not, there are very good redeeming elements to the game. It's just, it feels bad. And that's why they can remake Resident Evil 2 and people are like, oh, this is phenomenal.
This is how
you go back and play Resident Evil 2 and realize you can't move and shoot at the same time.
Nope.
That is bad. Like, that's just bad.
I think it's just, it at the time, it was new and it was exciting. It was just the thing. So we didn't have anything to compare it to, but now we know that it can be better. And I guarantee you 20 years from now, we're going to say the same things about the games we're playing now.
Right. And I've seen people criticize like the new Resident Evil for that. They're like, well, that was part of what made it Resident Evil and what made it hard and stuff was like not always having the perfect camera angle and not being able to move and like, no, that's dumb. Like, that's terrible. Like, you're saying like you should artificially make a game a certain way to make it harder, I guess.
Right.
Like, I understand maybe not being able to like manipulate the camera to like 360 degree spin around your character. Like, that's fine. Like, I think in a horror game, you probably should have a locked over the over the shoulder view or first person if that's what you choose. I don't think you should be able to manipulate the camera because you could potentially see a scare around a corner before you're actually around that. I agree with that. Right. But like the old Metal Gear Solid games where you were literally locked in a camera angle. I've
never played the old ones.
It's crazy. Like, go back.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's like when you play like Parasite Eve. Parasite Eve had even Final Fantasy VII. They had very locked views for each.
Right. You would go into an area and it didn't matter where the enemy was. Like, you could only see one direction. And like, that's dumb. Like, that's terrible because it doesn't make any sort of sense. And it's like, if you have nostalgia for that, like, good, like, I'm happy for you, but like, that's, no one else wants to play a game like that because it just doesn't feel good. And I remember playing, like, I was really into like Metal Gear Solid 3 at the time, and it was the first time they allowed you to they actually, I think, kind of redid the game and then allowed you to actually move the camera, but you could try it both ways. And I'm like, oh, that's terrible. This is way better. Like, well, it's like you could really see the difference at that moment.
Yeah, the games looked that way and had that type of camera angle because technologically they chose that because that was what they had to do.
Right.
Now they don't have to do that.
And it's awesome. Sometimes.
So now I think you're probably getting now closer to the truer vision of the developer and the artist of what they originally intended than what you actually got back then. Now you're getting the more real.
Yeah, and sometimes restrictions can do great for inspiring ideas. Like, yeah, being locked into a camera angle can inspire you to do great things because you have to figure out a way to make this compelling. But at the end of the day, like, it's not always the best. It's still not the best. So,
yeah. I'm good with games being remastered.
Yeah.
Do it. Change it up. Make it better because everything then was, not everything then was good, but there was a lot of good. But if it can be made better, why not?
And like, the thing is, like, there's certain games too. It's like, I'd rather go back and play Mario on the NES than I'd rather go back to the early 2000s and play some action platformers, like 3D platformers, because they were terrible. They're terrible.
Unless you were Mario 64.
Like, at that time, it was fine, but you realize 3D platformers, even today, like, the 3D platformers are not good. Like, it's very hard to have that depth perception in a game. Like, so there's certain things that just don't work. So it's really just nostalgia, which is fine. Like, enjoy what you want.
There you go. Thank you for that, Mr. Joe Coleslaw. Up next, Eddie Spaghetti. Okay, let's see how this plays out. Eddie Spaghetti says, you come home to a new stepdad and he's your most hated video game character. His son is your favorite character. Who are they? Would you be attending holiday functions? I don't even know how to answer this. Hang on. Okay, so I don't even know because my go-to is always Kratos. And I love him, so I don't know if he would be the son of the father.
He's a big son.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
What about Ness?
From Earthbound.
But if you remember, when you play Super Smash Bros., he just yells PK Fire or PK Thunder.
What does the PK mean?
I don't even know, but that's all he says.
That's kind of annoying.
Everyone everyone who plays that game, because I'll just play him just to troll and just use that attack over and over and over again. But it is so obnoxious.
So then would he be the father?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Because I hate him.
You hate him, but you play him all the time.
Yeah, because it's funny.
Okay.
No, it's just like, I hate that obnoxious, just... Because that's all he says.
Okay,
I don't even know. I don't know if he has other... I don't know if he can say anything else.
That's how little I've played Smash, is I didn't even know that's all he said.
Yeah.
Okay.
PK Freeze. PK Thunder. And you can shove the thunder up your butt, and then you can zoom back up to the ledge.
Okay. So that's the dad.
Yeah.
Who would the son be? Because you're supposed to like the son.
Yeah. This is so... It's so hard to make like a weird little
family,
strange family that gave... Saying that Ness made a baby, I don't even... This is a trick question.
Yeah, but still, it's a question, and we've started, so we got to finish. We've got to follow through.
Who's a better dad, though? Because I just can't get past Ness. Like, Ness can't be a dad. Like,
sure. Why not? Earthbound came out in 1990, So it's 25 years old.
Yeah, but he sure didn't age in Smash Bros.
That's fine.
Can we use Duke Nukem? He'd be a terrible dad.
Yeah, but you kind of want to hang out with the guy.
Yeah, it'd probably be pretty fun to go to the party and watch him get in bar fights. Like, Dad, you're so cool.
Right? I would say... Well, we still need to figure out who your kid's going to be. Yeah. For Dad, I would have to go with Cassandra and Alexios' father in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, because he's just a dick. Like, you think he's like...
What if Zeus was your stepdad, though?
Well, so then... I think they made a game about that.
Jerk.
Yeah. I don't know. This is a hard one. Because now that I think about it, like, Alexios and Cassandra's dad, he's not bad, he's just a general.
Yeah. Well, so I'm finding it's hard to really pick a character you hate, because even like the bad guys, like just the ruthless bad guys, you still sometimes like. Just
right.
Of course, they would be terrible stepfathers. Like, but it'd be easier to say like Trevor from GTA. Even though I love him as a character, he would be a terrible father. Like it's. This is a stumper. I've been thinking about this, too.
Right. Who is, like... So I started playing Far Cry 3.
Okay.
Who's the main bad guy in that game? The guy who kidnaps you and your brother and your friends and stuff.
Is that the guy in the eccentric suit in that one, or is that the fourth one?
No, that was 4.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember this guy's name, but he's kind of a dick.
Yeah, he's a dick.
Like, he would be a terrible... You know what? Yeah, he would be the terrible father, because you know that guy already has kids somewhere that he doesn't even know about. So
you have more brothers and sisters.
There you go.
He just brought one of them.
Yeah. So let's go with that guy.
But the kid... Ellie from Last of Us. She's pretty endearing, right?
Yeah, she's endearing.
I don't love her that much, though.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to. I don't know if I'd want to be.
I don't ever want to babysit in a zombie
related
apocalypse.
To her. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would want
responsibility.
I would want Kirby to be the son. My stepbrother is
Ness
Kirby.
and Kirby.
There you go.
Just the worst father-son duo ever. What's wrong with this picture?
Oh, everything is wrong, because how was Kirby made from that man?
Yeah.
Boy. Ugh. Okay.
We need to move on. This is too much.
Yeah, thanks for that question there, Eddie Spaghetti. Really appreciate you doing that to us this week. If you have a question for us, you can ask them in our, like I said, in our Discord, or you can send them to us on the Facebooks or the Twitters, or email us. that way. All right, let's wrap it up this week with some cheap free games. If you are a new subscriber to PlayStation Plus with a 12-month membership, you get this really nifty little game that you really like.
I do really like this game.
And they've actually been pumping a lot of content to since they released it, what, a year and a half, 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think over 2 years. I think they're going on year 3 now.
Yep. That game would be Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. So if you... does it have to be a new membership? No.
I think it's for new subscribers. So I don't know if that means, I don't know exactly what that means, but it might mean if you're an existing account holder, you can't get this deal. But because that's how it read, was new subscribers.
Oh, gotcha. Understood. Well, there you go. If you don't have PlayStation Plus and you need it, do it, and you'll get Rainbow Six for free. Rainbow Six Siege for free, which is awesome.
Free games are free games.
Heck yeah. And of course, here we are, another game that Adam West just had to have on day one that he paid full price for. It's on sale just about everywhere. Assassin's Creed Odyssey on the PS4 and Xbox One, $19.99 at Amazon and GameStop.
Yep. Or are they on the, I think they might even be that on the digital stores? Are they on the digital stores, or is it just...
I don't know.
Because even Red Dead is on sale for $40 too. There's a lot of big games that are all on sale. So if you got some spare cash and you're looking to play one of those big games you might not have played yet, it's probably a good time to peruse and maybe pick one.
Yeah, Red Dead and Assassin's Creed I paid full or more price for so I could get extra. Yeah, that was real dumb.
That's how they get you.
Yep, and they got me every time. So there is that. So look for Assassin's Creed for $20 if you're into it. And then finally, there is a Humble Bundle that is available, and you can get that through our affiliate link. We are an official Humble Bundle partner at bytemepodcast.com/humble. And tell me about this, because this is all your realm, not mine.
Yeah, well, I've never played Pathfinder, but I know people who do, and if you are a fan of role-playing games at the table with your friends and like that kind of social gaming, this is an incredible value to get this many books.
But wait, there's more.
For $1 alone, you get 10 books, and then... That covers all the core books to play this game. So at that point, you have everything you need to play Pathfinder, which is, my understanding is Pathfinder is a game that was built off of D&D's 3.5 edition, which was a very popular edition. And then when they transitioned from that into 4th edition, people really liked the 3.5 rules, and Pathfinder was born. And they continued to use D&D's 3.5 rules.
Okay.
And that's where Pathfinder came from.
Okay.
And it's my understanding, again, I don't know, any Pathfinder D&D fan who knows way more than I do could tell you better, but Pathfinder's a more technical game. Whereas, like, D&D's 5th edition now is kind of a little bit more role-play friendly. So some people play Pathfinder maybe more because they want more miniatures than they want to actually, like, strategize about moving around the
right.
table and do stuff. Of course, those games can be played different ways too, and that's kind of the fun of them. But more rule-centric than, like, the role-playing centric, whatever.
Okay.
That's... in a nutshell, I guess. $8 or more, you get 9 more books. $15 or more, you get like 13 more books, and then 18 or more, you get like
all the books.
Literally all the books ever. And these are all PDFs, which is awesome. You can print them out, or you can read them on your devices, whatever. But it's just I don't even know if I'll ever play Pathfinder, but it really tempts me because of how much value it is. It's $500 worth of books.
38 books total.
And these are big books. Like, if you were to buy these big books, they'd probably be close to $50 a piece, anywhere from $35 to $50. If they were books, of course, PDFs you can usually get a little cheaper. But it is like $500 worth of value there. So
that's an insane amount of content. Well, there you go.
Just worth mentioning.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, you can hit that link at bytemepodcast.com/humble. And that is the Xbox Game Pass games. They just added a couple coming towards the end of this month. One is... I'm trying to do this from memory.
I didn't see. I'm terrible.
What's the Mickey Mouse games?
Epic Mickey?
Epic Mickey 2 is coming
awesome.
to Game Pass. And also, I'm going to look it up even though I don't want to. Here we go. Disney's Epic Mickey 2, The Power of Two, and Alien Isolation are coming at the end of
Is that the one that actually
month.
People thought was pretty
That was the one
fun?
that was real good.
That's cool.
Yeah. I believe they are both backward compatible games. Can't remember exactly.
So at least
I know Epic Mickey is. Yeah.
I can't remember when the Alien game came out. There's been a few of them over the years, and I don't remember which one happened before the other. And
But Alien Isolation, that was the one that everybody really liked. Oh no, so that came out. It was kind of like an end of last gen, beginning of this gen. So it came out in 2014. But a really strong game, really well received. Everybody really liked that game. And then Epic Mickey is actually out. If you have Game Pass, Epic Mickey 2 is out as of the day this podcast goes up, the 21st of February. And then next week on Wednesday is when next Thursday, the 28th, is when you can pick up Alien Isolation off of the Xbox Game Pass. All right, that's that. Are we done?
I think so.
Okay, let's wrap our workday up and end this show and get back to other things that are way less fun.
Yeah.
Find us online, bytemepodcast.com, bytemepodcast.com/Discord for that, /Humble for our Humble Bundle link, and patreon.com/bytemepodcast if you would like to give us money and help us do things, go places, and whatnot. And we're at Byte Me Podcast on all the socials. Is that it?
Yep.
Okay.
Bye.